Take this and like it, CHUDS. You're forced to use an ugly woman in our game, you misogynist bigots. Please, CHUDS, come back. We made her look normal, and we even gave her a choker. We would never have mocked you if we knew how many of you there were.
I like you begging. Do it again.
What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the hilariously heinous Dr. Disaster. And the more I look at the situation with the game Fable and how things have transpired over the years, the more convinced I am that this character here was meant to be the only playable character shoved into gamers' faces like a scalding cup of coffee.
Well, how the hell did you get out? Now get out!
You have to think that this game was initially conceived of during what I think of as the peak woke years, right around 2020, when feminist prudes were dictating everything in the industry and companies were acting as though their weird ideas were big sellers, never minding the fact that those people don't typically buy video games in large numbers. They just whine about normal men enjoying games in order to hijack and control the industry. They seem to take pleasure in making sure that the average gamer chud does not enjoy what AAA studios are making, which explains why this character here was featured so prominently in the first two major trailers of this game. If you rewatch these trailers, the fact that she is ugly as hell is actually a prominent part of the reveal. The NPCs react to her hideousness in a way that suggests this was the story they wanted to tell. They reacted to the ugliness like you would expect anyone to do.
I am hideous?
You are horrifying to look at.
The problem was that the NPCs weren't the only one to react that way to this character. Gamers did too. I think the idea was that this studio, which looks like this these days by the way, but Playground Games thought they would make a character that looks like this, and they thought the average woman would see that on the cover of this video game sitting on a shelf at Walmart or Target or whatever, and they think that the average woman can relate to that or something, and they would need to pick it up because all of a sudden they'd want to be a gamer once they saw that. The problem is that the gamer chuds, who make up the vast majority of the gaming audience, they don't like that sort of shit at all. And the trailers for the game, which were largely cinematic trailers built around the character being ugly as hell, meaning that was the story they were trying to tell, but those trailers never showed any other playable character, and they were ratioed into oblivion on the Xbox Games Showcase trailers for the year 2023 and 2024, and then they went into hiding for a long while afterward. Well, it has been somewhere in the neighborhood of around 8 years since this game was first being developed, and it looks like it is finally going to get released in February. But now there is a new person in charge at Xbox, and I don't think this is a coincidence that the short trailer that they just put out for this game showed off a female rendition of the main character that doesn't actually look terrible. Believe it or not, it seems that Playground is actually capable of making a female-looking character in the game where you aren't instinctively looking at it and going,
Ugh, it's hideous!
Alright, me hearties, there's a lot of context that needs to be discussed when it comes to this character change with regards to Fable. You have to see all the motivating factors that went into it, but first of all, let's look at the actual short little video clip that they just put out on the official Fable X account so that you can get an idea as to what they have actually changed. Here is the clip. So it's this brief little screenshot that is the reason that people are talking right now about Asha Sharma, the new head of Xbox, supposedly forcing the Fable devs to try to mend things with gamers. As you can see, this character doesn't look half bad, or at least it is much more feminine than what we were getting before. So let's look at the context to see why they would be trying to change things up for this game. So originally, the first teaser trailer for this Fable reboot, or whatever you want to call it, the trailer came out in 2020 and it didn't show much of anything besides some background images of what you would expect to see in a Fable game, and naturally, people were quite pumped. But 3 years later, in 2023, at the game's showcase that year, they put out a new trailer where the hideous-looking female character was prominently on display, and as I said before, the NPC characters made a big deal of reacting to this character's face, audibly gasping when she was revealed. The ugliness was literally the point of it. And if you look at the trailer here, take a look at that ratio, they got completely obliterated by the like to dislike ratio with 26,000 likes versus a whopping 64,000 dislikes. That is going on a 3-to-1 ratio. And the comment section on this video was chock full of stuff like this. This person wrote, "I don't understand why the giant's face is so realistic, but the adventurer's face is so uncanny." Anyhow, this was the trailer the following year, which showcased only one character. It was the same exact one with the same exact ugliness, which tells you an awful lot about what they wanted to be the selling point for the game, and once again, they were ratioed. This time, it was almost a 2-to-1 ratio with 22,000 likes versus 42,000 dislikes, and once again, we got a lot of comments talking about the character design. This guy here wrote, "I hope I can choose to play as a white heterosexual male who is very toxically muscular and handsome." Anyhow, as you can see, the response to this game was crappy, and we didn't really hear much from the developers in 2025 other than to tell us that they were delaying the game. I think that during this time, they were busy adding a character creator because they realized that people were not having this shit at all. It would take a while to do this after all. A character creator is no simple thing, especially if there was a lot of dialogue which revolved around the original character that we were being shown. But anyhow, you have to remember that originally, Fable was supposed to be released in 2025 or so, and then in the early part of 2026, the official Fable social media accounts put out some video of the game, and they showed off the character creator mode for the first time. And there are a few clues which show why I suspect that this was a late stage addition to the game. First of all, for a few years there, the only thing people were talking about when it comes to Fable was the fact that their character was uglier than hell. It was generating a lot of negative PR, and the simplest counter to that, if there was a character creator that existed, the simplest counter would have been to just tell us that. Just say, hey, we chose this character for our trailers because we thought it was funny, but if you don't like that, you can make whatever character you want. There is a character creator. That would have been easy, but they didn't do that, which is quite telling. But another clue which suggests that this character creator was only recently added to the game is this footage right here, which came out around the time they started showing off the character creator. As you can see, this looks like a male character that the person is playing as, but the walk for the male characters at first was extremely feminine. The character walked like a fairy princess. A while later, they showed off updated footage with male characters looking normal in their walk, but the thing is, this game has taken forever to make. By the time it releases in 2027, it will be damn near a decade that it took to come out. I've talked extensively about how much money this must have cost. I'm not going to go into it again right now, but suffice to say, they will likely need to sell something around 6 million copies in order to break even, and the highest selling Fable game ever sold a little over 5 million. So that is why this stark change in the female character makes me think that Asha Sharma is trying to douse the fires of controversy with some water in order to bring gamers back, which I have to admit I do appreciate, at least to some degree. This image seems like nothing much, but it could be considered an olive branch. That being said, I am still not advocating that anyone go out and purchase this game. For me, unless something really radical changes, this is too little too late. And if you want to know the headspace of the devs in this studio these days, look no further than this video here, which I'm going to show you. It came from the Forza Horizon game from earlier this year that this studio put out, where they pander to the feminist gender ideologues with their character creator, which is just plain silly and stupid. Take a look.
You know when, like, you could tell that the character creator is so bad, like, you have no... It doesn't give you any ideas. It doesn't inspire you to be a certain character. Oh my god, she has a big chin. All right. There you go. That's a dude. That's a something. Huh? What's the difference? Which one is the girl? Like, what the fuck? Hold on. Hold on. You literally don't label... Alright, as much as I wasn't going to make a big deal out of this, you choose not to label the gender options for the body. Then you put the character in super fucking baggy clothes. How am I supposed to tell who's supposed to be a bitch? How am I supposed to tell? Why y'all think I wear baggy clothes?
As far as I'm concerned, Fable still needs to serve as a warning for what happens when you intentionally pander to what is not the natural audience for a game like this. Anyhow, make sure to hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already, and if you're already subscribed, make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. Loads of people tell me all the time they've been unwillingly unsubscribed. And also, don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But I'm going to leave it there. What do you make of this character change? Drop your thoughts on all this into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching me, Hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.